アニゲーミングこうよアニよ楽しい冒険スタートだ
Welcome to Annie Gaming episode 18, my friends. Justin here. In today's anime, we're going to be talking about Sailor Moon, another story which was released exclusively in Japan in 1995 for the Super Nintendo. You know, this game is a fascinating piece of anime gaming history. Not only is this one of the broader Sailor Moon franchises, but also has a surprising element to create a deep lore respecting JRPG game. This game was developed by Angel, a Bandai subsidiary responsible for many early Sailor Moon games, and published by Bandai themselves. Another story is often regarded as one of the most faithful and heartfelt adaptations of the Sailor Moon franchise. Although it's never received an official English release, fans' translation, like the one I played to do this video, it has built up a cult following. So let's get into a little bit of context here. So by 1995, Sailor Moon was already a global phenomenon, riding the success of the anime adaptation and the influential manga. The game's release coincided with the franchise's Infinity arc, the Sailor Moon S anime, but takes place after the events of Sailor Moon S and draws inspiration from the manga's continuity as well as the anime. Unlike most Sailor Moon games before it, which was often simple side scroller beat 'em ups or puzzle games, another story aspired to offer fans a genuine narrative experience complete with a turn based system, a sprawling story, and deep character interactions. And speaking of story, let me just talk a little bit about the story. Set between Sailor Moon S and Sailor Moon Super S, another story introduces us into an original story where time and fate are being manipulated by a new group of villains, the Opposito Senshi, dark versions of the Inner Senshi. Their leader, Epsu, a mysterious figure working with her minions to alter the past and future for her own ends. The Senshi must split up into teams and travel across different locations, both earthbound and cosmic, including ancient kingdoms, snowy Egypt, and even the ruins of the Moon Kingdom to repair the fabric of history and confront the Obosito Senshi while discovering the personal inner struggles each character faces. Themes of destiny, parallel worlds, regrets, and self discovery run strong throughout the narrative, making it feel like an authentic extension of the Sailor Moon universe. Not to mention, folks, the story makes it feel like you're watching an entire season. Just the way the pacing of this particular RPG is. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, it is a little bit of a slow burn because you're getting introduced to all the girls. You know, they're doing things that they're usually doing, such as talking about Rio. We dream about boyfriends. But once this game picks up, you not only get some really good deep characterizations. Each character has some really stellar moments. It is a really good RPG. In gameplay, let's talk a little bit about that gameplay. So the gameplay mechanics follow the traditional JRPG system. Battles are turn-based with menus for attacks, items, and special moves, which they call techs. Each senshi has unique abilities with different types of elemental magic and buffs and debuffs. Team splitting as well. At a certain point, the players must split the group into different parties to tackle various missions simultaneously. A nice nod to games like Final Fantasy VI. You also have leveling and growth. Characters gain experience and level up, but the system is relatively simple compared to deeper RPGs of the era. Still, stat buffs from certain items and learning new techs add strategic depth for it. You also have SP, which is called Spirit Points. Special attacks consume SP instead of standard MP, which we call Magic Points. Managing SP becomes crucial, especially during longer durations of dungeon crawls. And then, of course, we have status effects and buffs. Healing, buffing, and debuffing are important. You can't just use brute force your way through battles. You often need a good balance of attack and defense and careful planning for the bosses. This RPG is fun. It's very, I don't want to say it's a hard RPG at all, but I would say it has a very average challenge, especially if you're a veteran of JRPGs. There are moments in here where I was getting my ass kicked by a boss because I forgot that sometimes I need to be defense. And that's what I like about this particular RPG. You have to have that balance. You need to know when to block, when to use your SP, when to use your attacks. And just like RPGs go, JRPGs go, sometimes your attacks won't work. Sometimes magic and your elemental powers work more better. But I really did enjoy the gameplay here. It is fun, especially that you get to use all the girls. Everyone gets a chance to sign, and the attacks are great as well. Now, it comes to the visual and sound and graphics. Graphics, while modest compared to the heavyweights on the Super Nintendo like Chrono Trigger that was released the same year, Another Story is colorful, expressive, and it's true to the art style of the Sailor Moon manga and anime. Character sprites are adorable and recognizable completely with iconic attacks animated with impressive fidelity. In the environments from the ancient ruins to the bustling cityscapes, the game offers a wide variety of locations, each setting feeling distant and distinct, and if a bit sparsely detailed compared to larger budget RPGs. And the music is great because we have the composer of the actual anime. So the music is definitely on the same tone as the actual anime. The music is atmospheric and it often pulls its motifs from the anime. Some tracks are really soothing, others are heroic, or some are just ominous. And throughout somehow it might feel repetitive. It does an excellent job of evoking the right moods. And let me just talk before I wrap this up. Let me talk a little bit about some of the strengths and some of the weaknesses in this game. So, this game is definitely faithful to the source material. There are very few anime based games that are really respectful to their material. Another Story captures the personalities, the relationships, and the struggles of these girls beautifully. We also, like I alluded to, have some real emotional character moments. Each girl gets their time to shine, and the interactions both with their antagonists and each other really feel like you're watching or reading the manga or watching the anime. And the villains are really good. They basically are mirror images of the sailor soldiers in thought provoking ways, and the motivations tie into the broader theme of fate and hope from the Sailor Moon universe. Of course, the gameplay is very accessible. If you are fans of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, or any JRPG old school from the time period, this is an easy pickup and play. There are some weaknesses to this game, though. Let me make that clear. There are some pacing issues. Some dungeons, oh my god, does it drag on too long without any story progression. It's just dungeon. Like there's not even like anything. It feels endless at times. Battles can get a little bit repetitive because of the low enemy variety. So you might just see kind of basic animations here. So keep in mind it's on a budget. So you're not gonna see too much of the flash when it comes to the powers that they have. Limited saving, you can only save at specific points in the game and can be very frustrating during those long dungeons. But keep in mind, this is 1995. This is how the old school JRPG games were, folks. It was brutal, definitely brutal. And and of course, the English translations, they have typos or it might have some misunderstanding of Japanese words. So just throwing it out there. But to conclude with this, Sailor Moon Another Story remains a cult classic, not just among Sailor Moon fans, but also JRPG enthusiasts who appreciate its earnest and its charm and its heartfelt storytelling. It's one of the rare anime games from the 90s that feel like it was made for fans, by the fans, and it wasn't a quick cash in. In modern day, it's been cited as an early example of how anime based games could inspire towards a real narrative ambition, and it also has the idea of that alternate universes, dark counterparts that will later become even more prominent in both games and the anime. And I would just have to say this is not just a decent licensed game, it is a great anime game. If you're able to get your hands on an English translation, if you're able to how import it, if you understand Japanese and never played it, give this game a shot. This is Justin from otakusandgeeks.com. Annie Gaming. This has been episode 18. What did you think of Sailor Moon? Another story. Did you ever play it? Did you ever want to play it? Comment below. Let me know. If you like what we do here, hopefully we earn your subscription. And if we did, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell, my friends. I will catch you on the next one. Peace, love, and happiness to you all. Later days.